To a more serious matter, President Trump's long-promised immigration crackdown, a crackdown now in action. Major Garrett rode along with federal agents and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem on a series of raids yesterday here in New York City. It was meant to be a targeted operation, but as the administration has warned, other people did get swept up as well. Major joins us now. Major, good morning.
Good morning. The Trump administration has a goal to apprehend 500 people here in New York over about a week-long period. We joined dozens of federal agents on the first day of this operation.
Target today is Anderson, Pacheco.
Dozens of federal agents gathered in New York City before dawn Tuesday with targeted plans to apprehend criminal undocumented immigrants. A convoy of SUVs rolled through the Bronx, eventually settling outside this apartment building.
Let's just let a few guys from gangs go in.
Inside, agents found a suspected gang member from Venezuela wanted on several felony charges, now in custody with 3 associates.
Also there in the residence, 3 children, their immigration status unknown. And now a check to see if they have a caregiver or if Child Protective Services needs to be brought in.
These guys are dirtbags. They have come in and perpetuated violence in this country.
Recently confirmed Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem came along for the raid.
How many of these do you expect you'll witness as secretary?
I hope a lot.
New York is a sanctuary city, so cooperation with local police on immigration enforcement is limited. But Noem said there is some overlap.
The mayor's been fantastic. One of these individuals was so dangerous, and that we needed the backup of the NYPD to be there in case things went south.
This undocumented Dominican man was incidentally swept up in another Bronx operation.
Where are we transporting?
With no known criminal history, it is unlikely that he would have been arrested during the Biden administration.
Do you know why you're being picked up today?
Now he'll likely face deportation. Another change? The Trump administration no longer prohibits arrest near so-called sensitive areas.
So is it your operating assumption that some of these people you describe as the worst of the worst can be and will be found inside churches and hospitals and schools?
I'm saying that those are not going to be safe zones.
Noem said law enforcement should continue to use discretion in apprehending the hundreds of thousands of criminal migrants she says are in the U.S.
It's going to take a long time. I think
Can
that's
you define a long time?
months, maybe years.
Without congressional action, it may be longer.
I have to stand up more immigration courts. I need more immigration judges. But you got to give me the dollars to stand up those courts and make it happen.
Immigrants taken into custody Tuesday were brought to the ICE field office in Lower Manhattan for processing and paperwork. They let our cameras in, too.
You want cameras at these events, don't you? And some would say you want this spectacle to be filmed.
It's not a spectacle. This is our nation's law enforcement judicial process. The scales of justice are equally applied to everybody. We want transparency on this.
Yesterday, around 90 federal officers arrested 20 suspects in about a 4-hour period. 8 of those suspects had no criminal histories at all. Of those who did, they had charges pending ranging from murder to theft to kidnapping.
Major, did DHS or ICE let you talk to any of these people who were apprehended?
No. They put them into squad cars for deportation and processing. And not every action we went on had a criminal warrant attached to it. In New York City, if a criminal warrant is attached, New York Police Department officials will assist. So the others were simply immigration enforcement maneuvers. New York Police Department did not participate in those.
When you say no,
that's the delineation between sanctuary city and cooperation.
When you say no criminal histories at all, you're not including the illegal crossing of the border.
That is correct. Their status is that they're in the country illegally. They do not have proper documentation, but they do not have any criminal charges or suspected charges assigned to them.
Were you able to witness some of the specifics of rules of engagement when they are going up to someone's
So the first
home or
operation we
business?
went on with this Venezuelan gang member, there was a tremendous show of force. Heavy tactical gear, ramming through the door, going inside, apprehending people, large show of force to make sure that not only they were tactically safe, but they could execute this particular maneuver. And let's be honest, capturing this photography sends a message. And the administration wants that visual message sent. There is a new administration in charge. These raids are real. They will be more numerous. and the tempo and scope is different than the previous administration.
There's so much more to talk about here, but we'll keep covering it for sure.
Great
We will.
reporting.
Major, thank you very much. Appreciate it.